It's time.
Coach's Corner, presented by Stephen F. Baby.
Sorry, I didn't realize we confirmed this as a
Wheezy F, baby.
If we ask for something and then you give an idea, it's confirmed.
Okay, gotcha.
As you could tell, we've confirmed we've done everything. So
You are the coach in the corner.
don't put Baby in the corner.
So, from a recruiting perspective, what do you guys want to talk about from a
You had
local?
Did you actually look up the local?
I couldn't
at
remember
North?
his name. No, I didn't look him up. I'm looking him up
Okay.
right now.
That's fair. I know
North?
nothing.
Yeah, Des Moines North.
I just feel like we need to get some college coaches,
Where's he going?
some high school coaches in.
He's going to Iowa, I believe.
David Cocker?
That might be his name. Yeah.
It 100% is. I just Googled it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
David Cocker, defensive end from Des Moines North. Committed to Iowa via his Twitter account. He chose the Hawkeyes over Iowa State, Minnesota, Missouri, and Nebraska.
That's a breaking news button. You don't talk over the breaking news button.
Was it breaking news?
Yeah. Dolphins
not really-
acquired a 2023 6th-round pick in exchange for tight end Andam Sheehan in a 7th round.
Next time you hit the breaking news sounder, somebody better give a shit about what you're breaking news.
That's kind of why I wanted to do that one.
There's
That's fair.
That's
one of my
a
favorite
shitty shot next time that happens.
one of my favorite videos.
Also fair.
One of my favorite videos is Chris D'Elia, and he's talking to, I can't remember what this other comedian's name is, and he's talking about like chlorophyll in your muscles. He goes, if I look over at you and you're not wearing a white lab coat, you have to shut up because you're talking about chlorophyll. That's what that just reminded me of.
Chlorophyll.
Exactly.
Exactly. But
All right.
anyways, yes. David Cocker, defensive end from Des Moines North. Actually, that's where Lisa's at North.
Uh-huh.
Shout out Lisa Grieve.
Yeah. On the squad.
Des Moines North soccer coach. So we got some ties there. But yeah. I don't see any like stats on him size wise. He held the
6'4", 230, defensive end. He's a defensive lineman.
You should go to Drake.
No, probably not a great fit at Drake. Most of the metro schools, not an awesome fit there, generally speaking. Or most of the Des Moines public schools. Not a great fit there. It's generally related to the affordability.
Generally or like 90 plus?
Almost always.
Okay.
Almost always.
fair.
The presidential
Fair.
scholarship isn't coming through for them, huh?
Not in the same way.
What else? What else do you have about Coach's Corner here? Are you doing like a little breakdown of some of the stuff that you can see on tape from him, or
Does this,
Yeah, I'm
does this
watching some
qualify as a
film at
breaking
this
news?
point in time. He earned the offer. It said on his Twitter feed or at camp.
That's ridiculous.
Well, it qualifies as a shitty shot.
It's
I know.
It's a year away.
That's ridiculous.
usually from a Des Moines public perspective, you've got to be a really talented player, really stand out to go at that high of a level. Usually you see it more at the suburb schools and stuff like that. You know, obviously we talked a lot about Southeast Polk and the track record that they've had in recent history, but Ankeny got Jamison Patton, a Roosevelt transfer this year.
he was a quarterback? He's a really, really good athlete. Correct?
I think he's actually going to play DB or wide receiver at Iowa State now.
Oh yeah,
Iowa
State, yeah.
at Iowa State. But yeah, he's going to play both for
Right.
Ankeny. Coach Nelson at Ankeny, the former because Pizzetti is at Centennial.
Centennial, correct? Yep.
So, but yeah, he's a very, very athletic, and
I think
I mean,
that's
just from a
completely
recruiting
dominating.
standpoint, like I can play quarterback at a relatively competitive Roosevelt school, or I can go showcase the position I'm going to play with better athletes at a top 5A school.
Yeah.
Like, that's ultimately the decision that he made.
Yeah, and I guess the interesting part is he had all of the hype before going to Ankeny, and so I don't know why
As far as the motivation.
Yeah, as far as the motivation to go and stuff like that, I don't know. And so a lot of times like family-based decisions drive things like that, I did talk to somebody who said that I believe his dad lives in Ankeny. And so that may be it where his dad is hanging out over there. And so it was an easy transition for him to make it over there.
But from like a recruiting standpoint, from
usually you
one
see
from the kid
earlier.
side, but another from the college coaching side, would I rather see a kid who's coming in who I know is not going to play the position, one from an injury perspective, and two from I'd like to see him play the positions that I want him to play when he comes to my school. You know, like if I play quarterback for a team that doesn't have a good offensive line, my likelihood of scrambling and getting hurt are going to be higher than if I play defensive back and wide receiver for a team that is good
Has
and
a
can
track
use
record of
my
success.
skills. Now, to me, he's going to be playing more snaps
Yeah.
because of that.
Well, I
But-
think he played both ways, even as
Yeah,
a quarterback
he
at
probably did.
Roosevelt.
So
So I think that the snaps thing is not necessarily as relevant unless they're planning to play him just one way
Right.
at Ankeny, which they probably have the ability
could,
to.
right.
It's similar to the conversation we had about Xavier, and when the big games came at Southeast Polk, the Dowlings, the Valleys, stuff like that.
He was on the field.
He's on the field.
Mhm.
He's the punt returner, the kick returner, the wide receiver, the DB. Hey, let's get him a blow really quick on this, punt return from the -1 because we're going to get it at the 35 no matter what sort of deal.
But that's what you do, right? As a coach, like that's what you do with those players. You give them opportunity to make plays. in
Oh,
those
absolutely.
especially in high school when you're
Yeah.
clearly the best athlete on the field.
Yeah.
games. You have to in that situation. In my eyes, like you said, against those teams, against other teams, you don't have to do that because you're already up by 2-3 touchdowns and you're just perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really what it boils down to is you want them on the field as much as possible without them getting hurt.
Did you guys
And
play both
this-
ways in high school?
Oh, 100%.
No.
I was a quarterback
Had a
free
baby.
safety.
I played linebacker
I
in middle
played
school
I played every single
on the
play
B
in high school.
on the B squad.
I need that film.
had at least one tackle.
I can't-
also
I-
got sacked by a girl in middle school. So
We had
Wow.
like,
here we are.
Here we are.
we had a total of
started
like
at Drake
19
University.
players on
Fans.
our varsity roster.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I think we had
My-
70 or 80 on varsity and then
Yeah.
probably
We-
another 50 or 60
so
on
what
sophomores.
was-
we had 90 and 48.
What was tough is we just weren't that great of a football team regardless. Like my junior year, we were good. So when I was a junior and the others were seniors, we just had a really balanced team between the two grades where they were bigger. We had more skill players
Yeah.
in our grade, whereas we had skill players with zero linemen whatsoever. So it was really hard to make
You went to a
plays.
school with how many kids?
60
And that was what grades?
In your class?
In your class?
in my class, 60.
Yeah, you had
250. No, I had 350 kids in my class.
About 300.
I had 700.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
So you're the most impressive two-way player here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
but
really.
but like that's the conversation that I think recruiting is tough and gets lost in because we could be similar athletes, but I'm playing against, better competition, right? It may be better. It is better. In Omaha, and it's so different coming to Iowa from Omaha because Dowling and Valley are the biggest schools, I think. Now Waukee and Ankeny are getting
Right.
there. But like I think when I graduated from Drake, West Des Moines Valley had like 2,400 or something like that.
Yeah, they would have had, roughly speaking, 500-ish kids in their class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like a lower average for all high schools in Omaha.
Yeah.
All of them. And it's been a different like game and thing to look at when you specifically for recruiting, because they're all there. All those schools are there. They're always looking at you, and then you come here and it's like specific big games.
Mm-hmm.
It's been interesting. I'll tell you that, and I enjoy both. I would have enjoyed playing when there's 60 in my class too.
So it is. Don't get me wrong. It is fun, in a sense, but at the same time, when you're like, I punted. I
That's a
punted
bad idea.
on field goals. I wasn't a holder, even though I was a quarterback. I snapped.
Hey, I'm a snapper.
Because you
I
could.
Snappers.
did kickoff. I was on punt return. I was
Because
you
you were the
played
best to
every
do it.
you played every single position.
It was like punt, pass, and kick competition for
100% every
game.
week.
Yeah, no, thank you.
But if you're elite enough at a place like that, they're still going to find you.
They're
You're
gonna
gonna find
do
the
They're
that.
athlete.
still
Yeah.
going.
Right.
And I
like-
wasn't. I'm by no means was I an elite football player by any means. Could I maybe have played a D3 or so? Yeah, maybe. But I was by no means an incredible elite quarterback or anything. No. Are you a guy that could remember every single play, throw the ball, and get the ball where it needs to be? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. But you
Your-
also
your-
they also tried to run a veer, and you have to have some time to run a veer, and yeah, it didn't work.
Did
out
you ever
very
run
well.
triple option?
Yeah. You want to know what the 3 options were?
Yes, please.
Fullback,
XYZ?
running back, lay down.
Those are good options for you.
I just envisioning it. It's awesome. That tracks.
It
That
was,
tracks a lot.
but it's
That's
you
great.
as a veer, me riding a fullback into a hole
Yeah.
and saying, okay, I'm
And a
either
100.
pulling this and going to an option or I'm letting him go. 99% of the time, the best option for me was, okay, we're going to get 2 yards if I give it to this fullback. If I pull this out, this defensive end's already in my face. I have no time but to pitch it. And guess what? They already have an outside linebacker that's coming and crashing down, and he's in the face of our running back.
That's fair.
What can local kids do, assuming that their coaches aren't very good in the recruiting space? What can local kids, really any kid, do to get in front of a Flynn or a coach?
I think one is having realistic expectations of where you stack up. So like watching other kids at your position, go watch the top 10 kids at your position and see if you stack up maybe even just in the state, go watch those kids and then base it off of what offers and what interest they have of where you should pursue and what you should do. There are I would talk to any kid that wanted advice, that wanted to be a part of the recruiting process and try to give him feedback and connect him with coaches. This is very distracting. Sorry. What are you doing?
Stripping.
Trying to show Stoya's number 31 on
yeah.
his softball jersey.
Okay. Sick.
Distracted.
Steve thought he was getting to get a strip tease.
I was just like, what?
I
What
know
is he
what's going
doing?
on.
Is he trying to
What
like
is he
show off
doing?
a sweet rib tattoo?
No,
or like
What is happening?
He does have one of those as well, but
Nice.
next week
Nice.
on.
So I think that understanding where you fit and then asking for feedback from coaches and not necessarily asking for like, what can I improve? Blah, blah, blah. That's good feedback to get, but am I legitimately a fit? And ask them for a yes or no answer, because a lot of coaches will just string kids along. Message on message on message. They'll send a generic response. Oh, I want to see more of this, or oh, I want to see more of that. Like, you can control some of that in what you get from a repetition perspective, but like if you're a cover 2 corner, like you're
Know
getting
where
what
you're
you're getting.
Yeah.
And so showcase your best abilities and go for it, and then just go talk to as many coaches as you can. Twitter, all of that fun stuff is the way to get recruited now.
That's crazy.
Huddle.
Yeah, send out your huddle link.
Send your huddles.
Put your best plays at the front of the fucking film. That is the absolute. What's that? Is that the fourth one?
Fourth. Yeah.
Sorry, just from me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
For those scoring at home.
For those scoring, we need a count. Look at a little ticker counter.
There's like a predictor. Like we're gonna have prizes.
We're gonna
for,
have bets over unders
for
on Steve's-
predictions. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to put the best plays at the front of the film, though. There are so many kids, because the way huddle works is you watch game by game, you highlight the plays that you want, and then that dumps them into a cut up.
Yep.
And that happens generally chronologically, right? So kids add as the season goes on, or they go through game by game after the season's over, and they'll have a chronological highlight. So like if a coach doesn't like your first 3 plays, odds are it's getting shut off. You know, you have to really have something special about your measurables or something like that, you know, or somebody in their ear to get them beyond those first 3 plays. Those first 3 plays, there's not something that wows you, you know. If you get caught on a kickoff return, I don't care if it's 60 yards, don't put that on your film. You know, like you got caught. And so find your best 10 or 15 plays, put that together, best to worst, you know, that 15th play.
I mean, should we stop? I mean, we should just start at 5. Because, I mean, as far as like the initial, like, don't even get caught up in 10 or 15, just from a standpoint of
5,
like,
maybe like put a tweet out with the top 5 plays and then have like a link that has the 10 or 15 plays. But like I would get, you know, any number of kids that would send me game by game highlights, like separate videos. Like I'm not clicking into 7 different games for you to watch you know. I guess that is not necessarily true. Again, if you're 6'5" and 250 pounds, like, yeah, I'll click into some games.
I'm click into
you know, but if you're a 5'10" wide receiver that runs a 4.8,
you come to Drake University.
Put your best plays first. Showcase your best assets, you know. And
also,
so,
and the reason for that is like time-wise, how many kids are in your funnel to recruit, do you think, at one time when it's in its height?
I mean, I would start in the spring with hundreds of kids, you know, and so you've got to make a pretty quick evaluation on junior film to then get into the next and the next and the next.
That's hundreds, and that's at the Drake level.
Yeah.
Like when you get bigger, there's probably thousands.
There's thousands, and they have people.
And
they have multiple layers before it even gets to a position coach.
Their people have people.
Yeah, exactly. Like their people, their recruiting department has students and things like that are going to weed through some of the initial fluff of initial influx of people that are interested. Mm-hmm. And really, they're going out and finding the people they want. Very rarely does like something come to them that they didn't already know. That like you as a staff member can get in trouble for that at some places like that if you don't know about a really good player in your area.
If head coach says,
"Why the hell did I get this?
Hey,
you missed one.
We don't know this guy," then Then we're having an internal coaches meeting
discussion
of
so
somebody
summarize best practices.
Create a highlight film, best plays first. Update it every week. So you make a great play, put that play at the beginning of that tape and send that out every single week to the places that you're interested in. Don't send it to every coach in America. Don't.
That's just aggressive.
Find the places where you fit, do your research, find the places where you fit, and find the place that you want to be, right? Like look at, hey, I'm a high academic kid and that's the sort of environment I'm looking for. I want to play the best football that I can and compete for a national championship, right? So look at, the FCS level, North Dakota State, Montana State, Montana, James Madison, not anymore actually, they're moving up, but those types of places at an FCS level, Sam Houston.
Say, don't be afraid to
Illinois
look outside
State.
your area. Like, I mean, if you're looking at, I can speak to Drake specifically, and I think we all can, is that Drake is 1AA non-scholarship.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that didn't, or a lot of people that didn't even think Drake had football when I told them I was going to Drake.
Yeah.
We got the opportunity to travel from coast to coast, which was a huge experience in my 4.5 years at Drake. A
huge selling
point.
point.
Open your mind to looking around the country, looking at all levels of football, and to Steve's point, the fit, and then reach out. My cousin, her son just started camp in Flagstaff, Arizona. Can't even think, honestly, right now off the top of my head, the name of the college. Division II, Division III college. He lives in Champaign, Illinois.
Yeah.
A lot of those kids would look D3. They would look, JUCO, anything like that. But he found a fit for him in Arizona. That's awesome. Like, I'm so excited for him. He's a 5'8", 160-pound running back, defensive back.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit any super good athlete, though, really fast. He found a fit for him. And, like, now he's super pumped. He gets to play football and run track there, and, like, it's going to be awesome. So, just make sure that you're keeping your mind open, too.
Yeah, look for what if you're not going Big 10, Big 12, even MAC level, if you're not at that level, then be open to anything because there's great football being played, and you can have an awesome experience all the way across the board.
Experience is a great word. And that's the word that comes to my mind. Is
right. And let's be real. The experience, the relationships, the camaraderie, the family that we build is above and beyond the actual football itself.
Right.
Because less than 1%, yes, of you are not making it to the NFL. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
So don't think that. Just go to have a great experience, be comfortable, and figure it out. And if you're out there, listen to what Steve's saying. Also send it to us. We'll check it out. Right. We'll put you on here.
The NFL will find you at any motherfucking level that you. Yeah, I'm just doing it. I'm just trying to run up the count.
But like, I mean, the Pioneer Football League, PFL,
has had multiple.
First of all, multiple. Jim Harbaugh coached in the PFL.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson still plays in the NFL. Multiple guys that we played against, whether it be kickers, receivers, special teams guys, tight ends.
Yep.
But also, like, there's not a conference in the country who gets to see more of the country on a yearly basis than the PFL. And I can't, that. I mean, maybe some people don't like travel, and that's not a thing.
That's fair.
I got to see the country playing football for Drake University.
Oh, absolutely.
I got to go to the Northeast. I got to go to the Southeast. I got to go to San Diego every year. I mean, I saw places I have not been
Missouri.
Back to. Well, I also had to go to Dayton and Valpo, which is, that's a different story. But,
also, Raleigh, Missouri.
So, you got to take some, but, you got to go to North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, California,
New York.
You
didn't get to go to New York.
Philadelphia.
Did you go to New York?
No, I went to Philadelphia. We played Lehigh.
Yeah.
That thing was never played in basically tropical storm. That was crazy.
But, just understand that there are opportunities out there that some of those smaller colleges, and I use Drake because we went there. We get to travel. We got to do things that guys at any Power 6 conference school do not get to do. The guys at Iowa do not get to travel as much as the guys at Drake. As amazing as a gray shirt at Iowa may be. So keep those considerations open, and and maybe playing on the practice squad at Iowa is your dream.
Right.
Go for it, Rudy.
So be it,
But if it's not, definitely
check it out.
It's about the experience that you want.
Mm-hmm.
We recruited a guy at Drake really hard from Pella, Clayberg's brother.
Oh yeah.
And he went in gray shirt at Iowa, and he was there for I think a year and a half, and then we tried to re-recruit him to come back to Drake because he was like, this isn't what I wanted. Right? Phenomenal athlete, bigger kid, could have eventually maybe done something at Iowa. Right. He ended up at Dort and is having a phenomenal, from what I understand, having a phenomenal experience. Right. So it's all relative to what you want to get out of it. Mm-hmm. If their goal is running out in front of 100,000 people every weekend, but maybe likely never playing, then that walk on is amazing. Mm-hmm. If you're happy to do all of the work without getting to play on Saturdays, then that's fine. That's what you want, and that Iowa loves that, right? Be a Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm. Be a Hawkeye. And what you mean by you, we don't mean your family, your friends, your third cousin, you. Mm-hmm. You're you. It's your life. Mm-hmm. You really need to focus on what you want to do as a player, not what your family has done or says or does or your friends or any of that, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's your life and your experiences, and don't let anyone else ruin them. If you want to go to Dort over Drake at Iowa, do that.
Yeah.
Don't let them be, don't get pressured into those things, because it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. College football is a lot of work
at any level. At every level.
At every level. Yep. It is. And it's a full-time job plus school. Okay, let's think about that. It's more than a full-time job plus school. So you need to be comfortable with where you want to go and not forced or led into something that just because your mom said so, your dad said so.
Right.
Yeah. Go where it fits, and you'll enjoy it so much more.
Absolutely.
You'll have a much better experience. And so I try to express that to kids when I was recruiting and stuff like that. Like, a no for me was as good as a yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would continue to talk to kids that told me no if they were looking for guidance or anything like that. Like, I was happy to talk with kids if they wanted to bounce ideas off me. I had one kid, an offensive lineman from Michigan, who had a Michigan State walk-on, or he had a full ride at another place. And he was like, what do I do? And I was like, I can't tell you what to do, man. I can ask you some leading questions. And we ended up at the spot where the Michigan State walk-on made the most sense to him. He felt the strongest about those relationships. He felt the best about that opportunity. And so that's fine.
Right.
You know, like, that's a good decision if you made it and you feel like that's the best fit for you.
Right.
And that kid, if he develops physically, has
Chance.
the opportunity to play there,
Right.
you know?
So hit us up. Hit up our DMs. Slide in them. And
Not like Ryan trying to slide into whatever he was doing back there. But
yeah, I don't know what he was taking his shirt and pants off for Steve for. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's what it is. So hit us up. All right. Coach's Corner. Always good.
Yeah.
Always good. I love this segment. It's a fun one. Steve loves it. He gets excited.
I
Right?
did.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I know he does. You can tell in his voice. Because you can see.
Yeah.
Do you know how he does from golf where he was just like.
Well, right. I feel like you just gauge his excitement for the segment by number of F-bombs dropped.
Oh, absolutely.
That's probably a
At
good
least
metric.
three in that
Three in
segment.
the segment.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, where is
yeah.
Passion right there.
10.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's get into a little NFL action. Let's talk about the NFL. Well, no. Yeah, no. Let's stay in college. I apologize. Ryan left. He's supposed to be running the
Yeah. Board.
whatever. And I've got 45 minutes until
Yep.
beachside chat. Anyways,
Yep.
college football playoffs
Yeah. Let's talk about
are
that.
awful. This current structure is really, really dumb. Don't like it. Think it needs to change. Can we all agree on that?
I mean,
Or not?
I can agree, but I can also say that, like, the conversation that we had last week based on teams that we're letting in is like, to what degree does it matter?
The haters are going to bring up the Alabama-Cincinnati game. You know, like really, like, the first round playoff games have not been great in recent history, really. And so I think that that's something to be addressed, parity in college football. I think that the FCS and then Division II, Division III all have a great model for the playoffs, but there is a lot more parity at those levels. And so, I mean, even NDSU, they're in the national championship and in games leading up to the national championship, they're playing in close games. They're playing very competitive games for the most part. And so, for me, I like an 8-team playoff. I don't know, a 12-team playoff. I don't know what the best next model is, but I think to give someone the opportunity to be in those games, more people the opportunity, more teams the opportunity to be in those games is the most critical part. Because I think that like, what did that do for Cincinnati to just be there, right? Like, what did that do for them from a revenue perspective, from a clout perspective, like
recruiting, all of that.
I mean, they had 9 guys drafted. That's up there with anyone in the SEC, So what is I'm sure that they look at the film and say, there are some really small differences that if we do just a few things better in that Alabama game, it's a much closer game, And so, and even watching that game, it didn't feel like it was just over the entire game. They hung in there. And so I think the more opportunities you give teams to just be there and be in it, the better it is. So,
and the more parity will come.
Yeah, correct. The more parity comes. Like right now, it's just a rich get richer sort of scenario because you're dumping all of that extra money into these programs that are already so resource rich.
Correct.
And so giving some of those places, some of those teams the opportunity to be there can help to create that parity. To me, I think modeling it somewhat after the FCS playoffs, I don't think that a 24 team playoff is necessarily the best, but maybe a 12 team where the top 4 teams are seeded and they get that first round bye, and then everybody else plays for the right to play in those next set of games would be ideal.
I think that's a great starting point.
I think it is too, and the argument about the revenue and the money is all bullshit because we have bowl games. You just transition a bowl game into a playoff game. That's not like, to me, that argument is null and void.
And you can still have bowl games outside of the playoffs.
Yes.
And each game within the playoff, to your point,
Just
can
rotate
be
it.
a bowl game. It can be a sponsored game.
Right.
It can be an experience. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can do anything that you want to relative to that. And then like the education side, the presidents of these universities, like, oh, well, we play so many games and there's so much travel and blah, 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 blah. It's like you guys have these kids practicing through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, through all of this stuff, and you're worried about them. Like they're half these teams are at bowl games during finals week and crap like that. Like, don't give me that.
Yeah.
Like
all bullshit.
that's just not a thing. I'm sorry. Like, and every other level does it. Every other level has the playoffs. I think D3 has a 32 team playoff. I'm pretty sure. So it's like, how is that relevant to them, but not relevant to these bigger places? The bigger places have more resources to handle it better. And so, but I think imagine a 12 team playoff. What would the ratings for those first round games be?
high.
People
Well,
want
every
football.
game.
Like,
They would
that's
watch
the
every
thing.
game.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
And with
it doesn't make
gambling
any
now, a
sense,
piece
right.
of it.
Gambling. I mean, you're gonna go. You might like.
But I love 12 for the number, honestly. Like 12 is my favorite number. As you think through the what, like everybody's going. I feel like once it starts, it's just like the NCAA tournament. We're up to 68 teams for March Madness and stuff, and it started
it's
at 32.
getting a little too much.
So like ultimately, it's always going to grow. But if we're going to go from 4, I think 4 to 12 makes more sense than 4 to 8 or 4 to 16.
Yeah.
I love the 12 portion for the exact reasons that Steve mentioned, as far as
And 8 is happening.
yeah,
8 is it's what 23 or 24. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's 24.
Is that confirmed? I didn't realize that was confirmed.
I thought so.
I thought it was brought up and then tabled, but I could be wrong.
Oh, we'll look it up, but keep going.
So, but yeah, I think that you give more teams the opportunity. And to your point about the NCAA the basketball tournament, the basketball tournament has given so many of those teams, those Cinderella type teams, so much more.
There'll be 4 teams through the end of 2025.
And they haven't made any decision beyond
They're
that.
still on 8 to 12, but 2025 is the end.
Yeah.
4 for now.
So, and that's all relative to TV contracts, I would guess.
All right, could change.
But we're
tomorrow.
gonna have super conference before then anyway.
The conference change is gonna force some
But
issues.
so the super conference might be less relevant in the end because all of these other conferences are scooping up other teams along the way. So like maybe the Pac-12 fades. I won't.
Yeah, but
A
like,
few teams here and there, but like
Yeah.
for the most part, you're gonna have them somewhere.
but
like
you're gonna
the-
want more than just 4 teams in the playoffs when you have deeper
Yeah.
conferences.
Yeah.
That I'm thinking it pushes.
You're just not
4
gonna
to
have
plus.
the Chanticleers aren't gonna make the playoffs.
Correct.
You're the Coastal Carolinas of the world, but like
But if you put them in if there's a 12 team playoff, if they did something extraordinary, then they might.
not
You know,
in a
like-
super conference world, just because they won't make the cut. For
I just-
the
I agree with
super
everything you guys are
conferences or
saying
2 or
because ultimately I think a 12-team playoff all but guarantees that an undefeated anybody team is in.
Yeah.
An undefeated team, I don't care what is on your conference schedule or your
I
schedule
can't
at all.
imagine we've had an undefeated team outside the top 12 at the end of a college football season in the
but-
last 20 years.
I wouldn't guess.
I wouldn't guess either. And like, if you're undefeated, you should have a shot, regardless. I don't care who you played.
Right.
You should have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a 12 would do. An 8 won't.
Yeah.
It
And
won't.
16 just gets too muddy. That's my
It'll
problem with
eventually get there, but it has to
Well,
be
There's a lot of
parity, I believe.
mediocre teams. Between
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think in 16 you get like the Alabama versus the Chanticleers or something like that,
Right.
where it's like I don't know that that's a relevant matchup
Right.
now in college football. I don't think that there's going to be any legislation to have an influence on that.
Oh,
In
no.
basketball, it's just so different with the number of players
There's a lot
and the
of
amount
parity.
of resources
Well,
that
just
you
the-
can take.
I mean, basketball, the sport lends itself to
Less players. One player can
you
turn
get
it.
hot. Right. It's a different competitive sport. Like
Because I don't care
on
how
any given
hot
night.
Steve could get, we'll still lose a game
right.
Yeah.
when Cole throws picks.
Yeah. And so I think
Exactly,
that
like,
that's
ultimately.
The other
the
teams catching
challenging
it, though, those
part.
are completions.
No, those are completions.
But the exposure that it gives those teams to be in that position, to be in that situation, is just, I think
That's
it's
the biggest thing, though, is the exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is it just opens up so many more doors for those teams from a resource perspective, from an exposure perspective. It helps so much in recruiting, all the things that we've talked about to this point in time. And I think that has the NCAA basketball tournament is a great example of that. You know what I mean? Like VCU a few years ago, and Northern Iowa has made runs at times.
Drake in
and
2008.
Drake has
And
has
Drake
done.
years ago.
Last 2 years ago.
The last
Like,
2 years. This year they should have been in the NIT. I thought
Right.
that was
Okay. That was
disappointing.
bad.
But anyway, those things mean so much to these smaller programs. And if parity is truly the goal, then it can't just be these
Right.
mega teams always in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't only have 4 teams getting a chance.
Yeah. And this coming from the guy that picked 3 SEC teams to
Right.
be in the 4-team playoff.
All right.
Cool. I
We
love it.
We
So-
digressed back to
So,
Ryan.
well, the thing is the fact that we you said 12, we agreed immediately, which I didn't. I'd assumed we were all on the same page
Yeah.
anyway. But we'll revisit that and
Mhm.
we'll follow that come playoff time of the 12.
Yeah.
We'll seed them. We'll go through the whole thing to see how it compares. See
we'll
what
start our
really-
own playoffs.
I'll start our own damn playoffs. And then when NCAA football comes out in 2023, maybe we'll just simulate those. That'd be fun.
There we go.
Where we'll play them. I'll take Buffalo to the ship again.
Buffalo. But yeah,
Steve
maybe
doesn't
an
want
undefeated MAC team has an opportunity to be in a playoff if they win one of those non-conference games. You know what I mean? A Northern Illinois beats an Iowa or something like that,
Which happens.
which does. Yeah, it absolutely
happens.
does happen. And so, I mean, shit, NDSU beat Iowa. So it's one of those things where it's just like you have to give them the opportunity to play those games. If you don't give them the opportunity, then you never give them. You're stunting the growth of the sport.
Yes.
You know.
So many games.
I also cannot wait for the Iowa State game because we made so much money last year betting on that. Whew, fading Iowa State last year was
You just
really
hammer
good.
unders. Or
Oh
what?
my! Just hammered the hell out of them.
I mean, who was thinking that was going to be an offensive battle?
People clearly because it was easy
People.
money. It was
Probably
easy
me.
money.
Let's be
Probably.
honest.
Let's be honest. All right.
Both of those teams, the strength of their team is the
So-
defense. I mean,
The fun part. The stat is the NFL averages half
Yeah, basically half.
Half
So
of
7.
half of the playoff teams turnover. So those that 7 were in last year, 7 are out.
Of the 4, yeah.
Of
so
the
there's
14.
14. 7 of them are statistically speaking not going to make the playoffs.
Absolutely. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out who those are, and we're gonna place a wager on it. But also we're just gonna talk through who we think they are or are not. I'm on FanDuel. Someone get to DraftKings or some other one. For all those listening, we did FanDuel exclusively last season.
Mm-hmm.
We started to at the end of last season going FanDuel and DraftKings. Steve opened my eyes to like 17 other ones because he's a degenerate. I've made money though, so I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on him,
An expert.
but like, let's get him through football season before we can say expert.
the term that I prefer is sports book enthusiast.
Sportsbook
Oh, I like
enthusiast.
that. I like that.
It's in my
like
Twitter bio.
Good.
It's in my Twitter
The
bio.
old SBE.
The SBE open
There's
us to
certification
others.
for that.
So I think that we should, when a dipshit over here doesn't play softball over our podcast,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just have 4 up and we'll talk about those odds.
Right.
And we'll quote those. So I'm
I
got
call
FanDuel.
FanDuel because that's the only one that I have. Just for
I'll
I
go-
mean,
fine.
not, I mean,
I'll go
not for
DraftKings.
tonight. I don't really care.
No,
I just,
too late. Too late. You called it. I'll go DraftKings because I was already logged in.
So who's out of the playoffs from last year?
I need to let me pull up the playoff list.
real
I would
question
show
is-
it, but I don't know how to.
The real question is who was in the playoffs last year? Cowboys made the playoffs.
No, they didn't. They did, but
They did, yeah.
but it doesn't. Did it matter?
They played San
That's the
Francisco
whole point of
tight.
this conversation.
I know it is. All right, here we go, fellas. Team futures. Where would it be in DraftKings? Team futures, right?
Team futures, yeah.
Seasons. No, not season specials.
Season specials are weird on DraftKings.
Yeah, teams. Not team specials. God bless it.
How do you handicap a preseason game?
I think that there's just a ton of modeling, like data modeling
Right,
that
it's just
goes
gotta
into
be
it for
all
the
data
books,
modeling
and
these
then
days,
they
right?
set a line based off of their models, and then they'll work off of where the money
Right.
rolls in as far as how they adjust
I
the
can't
line.
imagine they're getting I mean, I know they're getting good money off of it, don't get me wrong, because everybody loves NFL, but I can't imagine they're getting too heavy of money in on preseason games to move the line.
I really.
Yeah,
Like
maybe
you would
not.
during the regular
Yeah, I
season,
think
you know
that
what
there's
I'm
a lot of I think like we were talking the 30.5 line for the Hall of Fame game was a great line.
Mm-hmm.
It was right on point, and so it is crazy to follow.
Well, that line went down actually, but that was because
Oh
of
my God, you guys!
two
DraftKings
items.
is not easy.
the Jaguars not starting in or not playing anyone, and then there was rain in the forecast.
Yeah,
So like I can see those things having the impact that they do.
This,
Like the Giants at the
it's just
Patriots.
not-
Somehow the Giants
not
are
doing
favored by
DraftKings right
2.5, and the Patriots are at home. That just doesn't make
Preseason.
any sense to me.
all right, so here we go for the NFC last year.
Mm-hmm.
San Fran, Dallas, Arizona, L.A., Philly, Tampa, with Green Bay getting
LA.
the 1 seed. I said L.A.
Oh, my fault.
So just start. So San
San
Fran
Fran.
and Dallas. Do you think either one or both of those teams are in the playoffs again this year?
Oh, that's how you're doing it.
I think San Francisco is in the playoffs.
Okay. Do you think Dallas is?
Nah.
Okay. So there's one.
Yeah.
Stoy.
No, I have the Eagles coming out of the East, so
I think Arizona gets bounced as well.
Arizona's bounced. So next is Arizona, L.A. Obviously, of those two, L.A. is in. Arizona's out.
So you think Arizona's out and Dallas is out, correct, Steve?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that I think San Francisco is out.
Dallas is in.
God, I mean, I honestly really, I'm going to say Dallas is in because their defense is still going to be good.
Are we taking notes? Someone taking notes? Am I taking notes?
Ryan, take notes.
It's recorded. He'll figure it
Yeah.
out. In. I got it. Keep going.
Really, we just need to, who's out, right?
Pittsburgh's out.
Out.
Let's go.
New England's out.
Oh. All right.
Steve's up to 4, so you get.
Let me
three
get
left, Steve.
Steve's. So AZ's out, Dallas out. What'd you say? New England.
Pittsburgh and New England.
Pittsburgh and New England. I heard a great analogy about New England. Like
4 left.
Bill Belichick is just trying to prove that he can do
Tennessee.
things like in the hardest way possible.
Like because he has defensive guys calling offensive plays, and he still won't even tell which one of the defensive guys can actually do that.
Because they don't have a single wide receiver that you
say
could
that again.
name
Matt
on their
Patricia
roster.
and Joe Judge are the two guys up for
Yeah.
offensive coordinator in New England.
And
Matt
he
Patricia
hasn't
is a notorious
declared.
defensive coach / head coach of the Detroit Lions.
I
Joe
didn't know
Judge
that.
is a special teams coach,
Yeah.
and those two are vying for
Uh-oh.
split offensive coordinator duties with a second-year quarterback.
Patricia's also
Needs
coaching the O-line.
an actual.
And they're running an adapted version of like the Shanahan offense.
Correct.
Is what the
with those
reports
defensive
are
masterminds.
with
Yeah, so
those guys.
I have New England out.
Yeah, weird how.
What about Tennessee?
That was probably
From
going to
one
be my
seed
other pick.
The 1 seed out.
Yeah, that's a tough look, but I
I don't hate it.
I
So you
think
got 5.
that's
You gotta
where
pick-
I'm headed.
You got to pick 3 out. You're 3 more out of those.
2 now.
Isn't it 7? Don't we
7.
recycle
Sorry.
half the teams?
They said 8 in the thing. 16.
Raiders, Bengals, both in.
I like the Raiders.
That's a Hall of Fame game bias speaking right there.
No, I just like the
They played so good against the Jaguars.
I actually like the Raiders.
I like the Raiders. I mean, this is what it is, man.
So we're required to pick 7 is what you're saying.
Yeah, but you also have the NFC. So you got Philly, Green Bay.
I like all of the teams there.
I do too.
I'm done.
That's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
no, ultimately,
that's
yeah,
fine.
like that's
It's on
fine.
average they recycle half the teams,
Correct,
but
yeah.
I would
Yeah,
say
okay.
that
That's fair.
this may like 5 out of the 7 is a pretty solid.
I think the youth quarterback movement in the NFL is going to make this a more sustainable. I think the playoffs are going to become more sustainable as these young quarterbacks
yeah.
make the playoffs year in and year out. So, like, I think we're still a year or 2 away from that being the case, but I definitely see, call it 75% being more of, the next 5 years type of thing, closer to that than the 50% that it's been. But yeah, that was a 20-year average. So, I mean, that's a good
Just going against
picture.
the 20-year average, whatever. I'm actually adding to that San Fran. The NFC is so weak this year. I think there's going to be a lot of weird things that happen that someone's going to surprise us, and I just don't think San Fran's going to finish with the quarterback they start with, and it's going to screw them up. So
you think
I'm going to go Arizona, Dallas, New England, Pitt, Tennessee, and San Francisco are all out.
who
Replaces them?
no,
I'll
no,
get
no.
to that in the next.
No. So do you think that Jimmy Garoppolo gets traded?
It doesn't matter who starts; they're not finishing. In my opinion,
They're going to start Trey Lance. Like as long as he
yeah, they're going
survives,
to.
like they're
Correct.
going to
But
start
I don't
him,
think
so.
he stays healthy, and in that regard, he's probably going to play a couple games fairly well, which they're going to try to trade Garoppolo and say we're good. And if they are successful, Trey Lance is going to get hurt. They're going to have God knows who the backup is, which that'll be their downfall.
Yeah.
If they don't, Garoppolo will come in. Now, ultimately, he's pretty solid, but I just don't think he's going to have it this year and make the playoffs for him. So that's how I foresee their season going. Trey Lance will get hurt, ultimately, and that'll be their downfall. Like we say with every team, if your starting quarterback goes hurt, you're effed.
I think that's surprising because the one thing that I'll say is I think that Shanahan does a great job of knowing the shortcomings of whoever he's working with, right? Like,
I don't trust Shanahan as far as I can throw him.
well, that's
that's-
some personal bias, though.
I mean,
like,
both 2 Super Bowls and another playoff run that he had a lead and screwed up.
yeah. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm just saying he does a pretty good job, at least in the
Bringing out
regular
what he needs
season,
from a quarterback. I
of
agree.
getting what he needs from a team as a whole, really.
And specifically a quarterback.
Specifically a quarterback. But yeah, like, so if you recognize what you're saying, like Trey Lance's athleticism is one of his great tools, how do you protect him from himself is got to be something that they're looking at, right? Because he's not built like Lamar Jackson,
No.
where he can take the punishment and the abuse. So, like, I can't imagine they're going into this season saying, we're just going to run the piss out of Trey Lance and hope for the best.
Not, but he got hurt last year on it was a design quarterback run, but he was diving into the end zone. He's going to do that. Like, you don't stop. You cannot take that out of a player. I'm going to go run and dive into the end zone.
Yeah.
That's what he got hurt on. He didn't get hurt on a normal, quarterback keeper and whatnot. So I don't think, and that was coming out of college. I don't think he would have been able to survive the NFL.
So you've got Rams, Cardinals, 49ers. We're 3 teams from one division. That doesn't happen very often. So like the fact that we have one, if not both of those teams, it looks like for both of you guys, have only one team from that division making it this year because Seattle's still going to be the worst team in that division.
Likely, yeah.
So you still have the Rams as being the only team in that division now making it through.
Did I take San Francisco out?
No, I did.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Okay.
Oh, and I did as well. Sorry. So
I just
You
wanted to
took
make sure.
San Fran out?
yeah, I'll.
So
I'll
do you have the
remove-
same?
But I think Arizona still makes it.
So Arizona still makes it.
Yep.
Dallas, you're
Yep. Dallas is in. Philadelphia's out.
okay. I got you now.
Is Hopkins out for 6 games?
So Dallas out or Dallas out.
Or is he out for the year?
You have
No,
Arizona.
6.
You have Arizona
Six.
in.
Yep.
So you got Philly,
New
New
England,
England, Pitt,
Pitts.
Tennessee, San Fran. Right now, is there anyone else?
You'd have to believe that someone else is going to win the North, and Green Bay is going to be just so mediocre. But I just
That-
don't think
that would be the
there's
team
a
that-
way that you can.
I want to.
I mean, is that the hot take that both 1 seeds are missing the playoffs this year? I'll go with that.
I'm not saying you should. I want to make that
No,
clear.
I know, but
I'm
like
just
that was
saying
the other
that
team.
I
In my,
th-
You
if
doing
I'm
it?
gonna get to that many
You doing
teams,
it?
I think the Vikings are going to make the playoffs and be the best team in the NFC North.
I agree.
I think the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East.
I
think
don't.
the Rams are going to win the NFC West. I think Tampa's going to win the NFC South. AFC West is to me the biggest. Like they could be the NFC West as far as getting 3 teams in this year, in my opinion.
They absolutely could.
And the sleeper in that is that I think the Chargers are the team that don't make it.
Interesting.
And I know that you and Ryan both like the Chargers.
I like a lot.
I mean,
Okay,
I
so
mean,
let's-
and I like the Chargers too. The Chargers will charger.
So I sent that bet to you guys as divisional winners at a series. I picked every division winner, and the Chargers were one of them. That was a $10 free bet that I just took a
No,
spin
no,
on.
it wasn't. It
Yeah,
was his.
it was
He put
his.
at least a G on it. I swear that's what it said.
So it
That's
is
fair.
to win $895, I think.
Yeah.
But
Like I think the Colts win the AFC South.
Okay, hold on. Gee, like, could we stick to where are
I'm
you
just
just
saying-
outs? I know,
I'm
but
in both. I'm in all mode because
know,
like
but
I
that
have to
doesn't
talk
help.
myself into who's going to win so that I can talk myself
need to
out of
know.
who's going to be out.
okay. Right now, you have Philly, New England, Pitt, Tennessee, San Fran, and Green Bay out.
Out. That's 6. I'll stick with
Okay.
my 6.
You've got Arizona, Dallas, New England, Pitt, Tennessee out.
Yeah.
I have Arizona, Dallas, New England, Pitt, Tennessee, San Fran out. Okay, we got the outs done.
Do you have Steve has 5, you have 6?
Yep, and you have 6.
Right. Okay. Fair.
Okay.
Yep.
Now we go to the ends since
The
you're
ends.
in it.
Yep.
Okay, who's in?
In Dallas, Rams, Bucks.
4 more.
Who's my other team? Who's going to win? What
Cincy,
division? What division am I missing in the NFC? NFC South, NFC West, NFC
East, North.
NFC North is
You
the
said
Vikings. Yep.
yeah. You had Cincy. You didn't take out.
Yep. The
Clearly,
The Ravens.
Bills and the Ravens.
And
That's it.
so it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is there 8?
Well, that's. Oh no! You can't.
there are 8
I'm
teams
just
from each side.
Within, I'm just replacing teams that weren't in before. You're putting teams that are already in.
I'm putting the full
Oh, you want all
in.
You want
Sorry,
all 4.
That's my bad.
Yeah, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, we might. I mean, we might as well put all of them, right?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So I got to get to 14.
Yeah.
Ravens.
Chiefs. You have Pitt's out. Buffalo.
So Raiders, did you put them? So NFC South,
Arizona.
Carolina, no.
Did you take Arizona out?
Nope.
No, they're in.
Carolina's out.
All in the South. So you got Falcons.
So are the Saints going to make
Saints.
it? Is basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, are Saints in or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think they get in as a wild card.
Jameis just hurt his
Because-
ankle, sprained his foot.
That's fine, but like if
They're
I'm
not
taking the Packers out, I have to put someone in.
Oh, all right, I forgot
So
he's
they're
taking the
like-
Packers out.
So therefore, I
Put
have
the Lions in.
Well, I would either have to put Philly back in, which I took out. The Saints, so it's like Philly, Saints, Packers,
Seahawks.
49ers.
Seahawks.
Like of that, I took those 3 out. So I've got to. So the Saints have to be in.
Okay.
How many am I up to there?
6, 9, 11.
I was trying to go AFC and then NFC so that I could count. And
It's
I
also
I'm like
14's a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What do I have left? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got one NFC team left. Which would
AFC
be
East.
AFC East is Buffalo.
I know, but like, is there another AFC East?
I think the Dolphins get in.
Okay. You're at 12. Oh, I pushed enter. That was not a good idea.
AFC North is going to be the Ravens and the Bengals. So there's 4.
Not the Browns?
Not the Browns. Nope. AFC West. I think I got to put a third team in from the AFC West. Give me the Raiders, Bengals, and Chiefs.
I already have the Chiefs in there. Raiders. Bengals? Oh. That's not.
You got them. Cincy.
Oh, I do have them. But the AFC West isn't. The Bengals aren't on there. Broncos.
Sorry, AFC North is the Bengals.
Okay, do you want the
I
Broncos?
want the Broncos. Give me the Broncos.
You're at 13, I think.
And I'm missing one NFC team.
6, 9, 4. That's not easy.
It's gotta be one of those NFC West teams. It's got to be a team that I took out is the problem. Ultimately, let's.
This is why we're doing it.
It's not going to be the Commanders. It's not going to be
Why not?
the Giants. It's not going to be the Panthers. It's not going to be
Philly, San Fran, or Green Bay.
Right.
Okay, so I'll put Green Bay back in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Team with the best quarterback.
Yeah.
Tends to elevate his team to
All right,
our
Stevie.
previous conversation.
Also plays well in the regular season. Team plays well in the regular season.
Yeah.
Poo-poo in the playoffs. Back to you, Scotty.
So I got Buffalo,
Buffalo.
Baltimore, Cincinnati,
Buffalo.
Indianapolis.
Oh, hold on. I can't type anymore. Cincy, Indy. You didn't put Indy.
Yeah. They were my division
He had
winner.
them to win the division.
I didn't type them in, so I'm going to take the Broncos out. I didn't type them in. That's what was screwing it up. You don't need the Broncos in there.
No, that's fine.
All right, so Bills, Ravens, Cincy, Indy,
I hate everything.
KC.
Yeah, KC.
I know. I feel you.
KC, LAC, LVR, Las Vegas.
I was like,
Raiders.
LVR.
I got to
I don't know
pick
what that one is.
one
I don't know what that is.
that I don't like. That's 7, right?
That is.
That's the AFC right
That's
there.
AFC.
That's good on the AFC. I thought
you're
there were
good.
8 on each side.
7 on each side.
7
Seven
to
on each
14.
side.
7 plus 7 is
Oh, because
14.
they just added the 7.
They haven't
Yes.
the 7th yet.
That's right. NFC, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, LA, San Fran, and
2 left.
At 2 more.
I need an NFC East and another wild card.
Philadelphia.
Eagles fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. And, I'll go with the Homer Hard Knocks pick of the Detroit Lions to make the playoffs.
What an idiot.
All right.
They're going to play with so much heart.
Watch the Lions move
Uh-huh.
after Hard Knocks
Yep.
airs tonight. That happens in fantasy too.
Yeah.
Whatever team is on Hard Knocks, the average draft position shifts like
10 positions.
Yeah, for
Probably not that much,
some
but
very
still.
average players.
This guy is awesome. I just watched it's like watching a highlight film for a guy.
Yeah.
It's like,
It is.
oh, this guy's the best player ever. He never makes any mistakes.
Yep. What'd I do?
No, I'm doing mine
Oh, gotcha.
without saying them out loud because I'm trying to do math.
How's that working?
If
for
you pull up the team features and just look at it division by division, it's the easiest thing to do.
Oh, well. But I also have to type since.
Well,
It worked best for Steve because he went like I was trying to AFC then NFC. Then if
Oh, yeah.
what you,
yeah.
The only thing is I already typed 2.
I know.
So I didn't know where to start.
See him.
I see them.
You got
NFL. What are futures? No,
Yeah.
not
Right
don't.
now you got
Conference and
6
division
teams in.
winners.
You need one more AFC team.
Hold on. Hold your price.
Lions are plus 950 to win the division right now.
All right, I've got Buffalo. Jeez.
Can't lose pick right there, guys.
Can't lose?
Putting a third team from the NFC West in?
Is no
Or
one,
AFC West?
if no one picks
I
the Vikings,
thought about.
it'd
I'm
be
thinking
amazing.
I'm stuck.
Did you pick the Vikings?
Huh?
Mhm.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got Colts. All right.
AFC South Colts.
Yes, Colts, Bills, Cincy, Dolphins, KC, and
Raiders.
It's for me. I'm trying to debate between having the Chargers, Broncos.
You only get one.
I know. Like I said, who they're between.
Oh.
Okay. Or adding back one of my dum-dums.
Mm-hmm. Like the Titans?
Like the Titans. You know what? I'm going to give all my Broncos fans some love in
Look
that
at you.
regard.
Look at you. All right. So you got the Vikings right now in the NFC as your only team.
Still not sold, but I just don't. I
hate him.
No, I can't do that. I can't do it. Now that I'm looking at the roster mentally, I can't do it.
I think I'm just trying to create a rivalry between
damn
me and
it.
Ryan.
That's fair.
I've got to go Ravens.
They
They have a
easy.
simpler path.
That's
way
easy.
way easier path. So, all right, I've got on the NFC. I've got the Vikings.
Yep.
Clearly, I've got Philly. I'm not going to say their name out loud. Then I've got Green Bay. Of course, why wouldn't I? I'm going to go.
You got to get to the NFC West. Rams.
I mentally was already that was already there.
So
Oh, no, we got.
now you're down to two.
I got 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, baby. Which I already took out. What, San Fran, AZ, and Dallas? Wow, I took out a lot of people.
The NFC is just not good.
It's not
That's one of the other problems is that we're not taking into consideration is
that
the
it's
NFC
not
is
good.
so weak.
But that's like why. That's why I put more NFCs because they're weak.
All right. There's more chance for.
Fellas,
New Orleans?
I can't.
Okay.
No. Because I can't, I'm putting my Falcons in. Solely because of that purpose.
Look at you.
I might change that later as I walk through.
Mariota.
This. No. Dallas.
We're gonna hate on the Lions pick, but we're
Dallas-
not gonna hate on that.
No. It's because
it's not.
it's like such a.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's not even a.
Dallas is. I got to put Dallas back in.
right.
I actually thought about going 3 NFC Norths, by the way. But I'm gonna go Homer.
The Bears.
So this was the year that like all the Bears fans and my Falcons
Better
like,
chance to
I
make
was
the
thinking,
playoffs,
let's
Bears or
all go
Falcons?
down because the Bears are playing at Atlanta. I was like, oh, this would be great. Like a couple years ago, we're not. I'm not. I won't spend the money on that.
Bears, Falcons. Better chance to make the playoffs?
Falcons.
I saw the
Weaker
Bears
division.
are plus 1,000 to have the worst record in the NFL on FanDuel.
Did you take it?
No, but I think I might use a free bet on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
absolutely. All right.
Um,
All right. I got 9 minutes.
Yeah.
We all have 9 minutes at this point.
we're just gonna slowly have people depart. It's gonna be me and Cole,
Who are
Stoy's going to the beach. Steve and I are just.
just hammering out
I
podcasts.
think this
8
is
in
his
bet.
beach, though.
Huh?
This is your beach.
This is my beach.
Yeah, so I think we get kicked out.
No, it's not. Actually, my office is the
Oh,
beach.
gotcha.
But the computer
Ah,
where the notes are taken.
yes.
We don't
8
need
in
notes.
bet. What are your locked in 8? Is that what we're doing? Or we
What?
do go to 7 since you said 8 and it's all been screwed up?
No, I think this encompasses that. I was just trying to make sure that we
But our goon lock, which we're
don't
doing.
have Ryan's. We kind of did that last week when we picked our final 4, though, right?
Yeah, but we're doing the new 7 in.
So who is your new?
7 in.
No, just your Goonlock new guy in. Do we have do we all
Do
have
we
the
all
Colts in,
have one team in?
or do we all have the Ravens in? Because both, I mean, those would be my top 2.
Yeah.
I think those two teams are both going to be in the playoffs this year.
Ravens, Indy, yeah.
Yeah, so like I think that's where we go with that.
So Indy,
Ryan, you have to pick them.
Ravens. Was that another one?
I don't know about NFC.
I didn't pick the Vikings, so that's probably
That's
ruined it.
that's what ruined it. Yep. Absolutely.
Historically, you said that the Goonlocks are terrible, right?
Correct.
Historically,
So
it's a new squad though. New squad, new year.
When you say historically, like we have a 1 year reference at
Yeah,
this point,
like,
so
I mean, I say historically, am I gambling? And I've only done it for
Yeah.
4 months.
yeah, but you made a lot more. It's fair.
Well, he has
Dingers.
made a lot more money than
That's
our
true.
Goonlocks.
That's true.
All right, let's go with that. Indy Ravens, and then we'll wait for Ryan because softball's so important. NFL preseason, you got any bets? Any bets? Do we have any shitty shots?
I think the first game is just on Sunday, isn't it? Or the next game is until Sunday?
No, there's games this week.
That's what I'm saying. Sunday of this
No,
week.
like Thursday.
I really should have put. I hate you.
Thursday,
Why?
I should have put my Dinger Tuesday on.
Thursday,
Austin
August
Riley.
11th.
Oh, did he have
He
one?
Giants-
He went triple and then homer.
Giants
Nice.
at Patriots
Fire.
What day is it?
Thursday.
Thursday? Okay.
2.5. Giants are favored on the road at the Patriots. Over under 33.5.
Are we doing Thursday night games? What are we doing?
I mean, I got two Thursday night games. I got 4, 5,
Did you see the Falcons
6
versus
Friday
the
night
Lions?
games. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Saturday games and 1 Sunday game.
Well, we got to pick the
Nice.
Sunday game because it's Sunday. It's like the Monday night game for us.
Well, I know, but like, I mean, are we picking all of these games?
No, we're gonna pick
I
three.
mean,
We're gonna pick a Thursday night, Sunday, which would be a Monday night, and then a
so do you want to pick
Saturday.
Ravens, Titans, or Giants, Patriots?
Ravens Titans.
Okay. Ravens 3.5 at home over the Titans. 31.5
Ravens 3.5 plus 3.5
What's the format of this?
minus
minus 3.5. What was it? Over under.
31.5.
So we pick money line, spread, over under.
Gotcha.
What's the other games?
What'd you say? What else did you want? Sunday night
Sunday night.
is Vikings Raiders.
I like that actually.
Also 3.5.
Who?
Raiders at home.
Over under.
34.
Even?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we need a Saturday best game. I kind of like the LA matchup just because it's fun to talk about.
Rams, Chargers, Broncos, Cowboys, Dolphins, Bucks. I mean, it all depends on who's
Colts,
playing.
Bills.
Colts, Bills. Like, there's a lot of technically good matchups. I don't know who's playing though. Packers,
None of
Niners.
these are good matchups. This is a preseason.
Correct. I don't watch any preseason like games, so I don't know Cardinals.
I'll
Bengals.
we gotta
watch
pick
them,
one.
but
Like, who do we think is going to play in some of these games that that matter? that
No
we
one
wanna
in
watch?
LA.
Like Russell Wilson, Dak
Will not
Prescott
play.
are not going to play. Mills and Winston.
Winston's hurt, so he's
Brady's
not
not going to play. Tua, I doubt plays.
Honestly, Seattle, Pitt.
Right, because like
They're
you're actually
playing.
going to get to see some
Same
guys
thing
play.
with Carolina and Washington.
Washington's not going to play Wentz.
No,
So-
but Carolina's gonna play both of them.
Packers
with only 3, what's the mindset?
With only 3.
Preseason games?
Because we have 4 minutes.
No.
Oh.
No, he's talking about what's the mindset as far as a coach.
Oh.
Are you not playing your guys until?
Yeah.
I think that's a conversation for next week.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Mark that down. Pick a game.
But like Jets, Eagles. So I mean, I don't think
What if-
any.
what
sta-
if-
I just
what
don't
if we
think
just-
any starting quarterbacks
Let's
are playing.
stick these two.
We're at 2 minutes, under 2 minutes here. What if we just pause
4.
this and go to next week?
4 minutes.
What if we just wrap the show before these
'Cause
picks?
We have to have shitty shots.
You guys have shitty shots on your golf thing, right?
There you go.
Yeah. It's just so weak.
He's weaseling out a shitty
Yes,
shot.
he's weaseling out.
Opportunities. I love it. Love it.
We will tweet about it, fans. We will discuss, and then we will give you your money line on those, your spread, and your over/under, like we usually do. Once we pick that third preseason game.
Let's just do the LA game
Okay, because it's LA.
because it's LA.
All right, so LA versus
It's 3.5 Chargers
LA.
Chargers minus 3.5.
with
Over.
a 29.5. Wow.
Oh, jeez. Give me the money lines though.
And
Those are important.
Are you tracking odds on this then?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
ready?
This is FanDuel for now.
Ba-dum.
Ravens are
Or sorry, I've got the Raiders at minus 165.
okay. Got you.
Vikings plus 140. I don't know if you want both of them.
No, I just need the favorite for now.
Sorry, what's the other game?
The Ravens versus Vikings.
Minus 170.
Okay.
And
Watching Riley's home run.
It's
minus 170 Chargers.
That is deep.
Yeah.
Over the green monster.
We got him. We'll tweet him. As Ryan always says, like always, subscribe, tweet, share. Well, I don't remember those. Like,
comment,
subscribe. All those things. We're on the tweets. We're on the Twitters. We're on the TikToks, the YouTubes. Come at us YouTube, though. A lot more comments. Let us know what you want to know. We'll answer. Since we do have a coach now, recruiting, film, send it. We'll go and review it. And it's football season, baby. Let's get it.
Let's go.
It's time.